Hey, welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person, and what you could possibly do to shape shift the energy. Now, if you're new to my channel, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box, including the word of the video. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and it's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Just two things. If you want to enter into winning a free reading, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading and you have to be willing to get it done live. I send you the link for YouTube. So we won't see each other face to face. It'll be just like how I do a video, but you're able to chat with me and you're able to message me and message questions. Now, if you want it private, then you have to send me the questions the day before. I just wanted to put that out there. And I see not a lot of people are doing the word of the video. So I just wanted to offer it again because there's a lot of people that don't mind getting it done live. All right. Just wanted to put it out there to you guys. Let's see what the word of the video is. The word of the video is obscurity. Obscurity. I feel like this means a lot of different things. This card. First of all, I feel like you were with someone that gave you very little. But I also feel like the person that you're connected to or is connected to you doesn't feel good about themselves. They feel very small. They feel like they don't have enough. And so, unfortunately, I feel like this person has gone through like either a court situation, a divorce, a loss of job. So they don't have a lot of money. For each and every one of you, it's a collective reading. It's something different, but the underlining energy is obscurity. The person doesn't feel like they're enough. And I feel like there is this timeless connection between you and them. However, this person didn't really treat you in the best light when they had the opportunity. So I feel like they want to come back in, but I feel like they feel like they're not enough. They also feel like they didn't do enough when they were around you. So there's a sense of that you probably won't even give them the time of day. That's what they feel. Yeah, like this person when you were with them, they were somebody completely different. Like I feel like they were really cocky. They were someone that wanted you to be like submissive to them. Like you weren't allowed to like share your opinion, or if you shared your opinion, this person would dismiss it, not really caring about how you felt emotionally. And I feel like, again, it's mainly because they don't feel really good about themselves. So they try to create this persona and this persona where they're actually more confident. But when you're creating a persona, you're emulating someone, you're trying to copy them. So this person either really overcompensates in what they do or they undercompensate because they're not coming from their true self, their higher self. So I feel like they overdid it. They overdid it and they didn't see it at the time, but they're looking back. Yeah, and they were, somebody that would act as if everything that you would say was like dramatic, that you were being dramatic, even if you weren't being dramatic. I'm feeling like this person was somebody that would make it like, again, one way to make a person go into submission is to not just dismiss what they say, but judge how they say it. So I feel like this person would think that you would say that you were coming across too aggressive. They would say, they would say that you are harsh, that you were like hurt their feelings. Instead of really paying attention to what they were doing, they would again try to push you into submission by saying, "Oh, you're being so dramatic. You're so sensitive. you took that the wrong way. And so again, we're hoping to always make you question yourself. It's a form of gaslighting. And it's really because this person feels inadequate. And I feel like you're someone that is very interactive in life. So you have a lot of friends, you do a lot of different things, you're curious. This person lives very simple. Now, they hide behind their material things, but they live very simple. So I feel like this person has a very easy time making money, but they don't have an easy time creating those emotional connections. So what they'll do is they'll work a lot and they'll take on the persona of being like a helper to their family or to just random people so that they're seen in a good light, but they're not fulfilled. They're doing it for the praise, they're doing it for the ego, they're doing it all for the wrong reasons, where you're just someone that goes to work, you enjoy your work, some of you, but the majority of you are not complaining about work. Maybe you're just happy that you have a job and you're just happy for life. And it's that perspective that you live by, like, listen, better times are coming. I'm working towards things. I'm pretty happy. I'm grateful for the job. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for what I have, my home, my children, for those of you that have children. So you're at a high vibration. Now, are you oozing with money? No, that's not, but you're happy. And so this person sees that you are a happy person, that you're interactive in your life, that you have friends, you have real, genuine connections. This person feels inadequate. Like I said, they hide behind material things. And so I feel like part of them pushing you into a place of submission was so that they, it created a wall so that you couldn't get in. Like it was almost like to have a deep conversation with someone is to create intimacy. And this person already had feelings for you, but they're feeling like they're not enough. Again, I feel like they always feel like they don't have enough, that they're not enough, because someone that hides behind material, even when they have money, is saying that they're obscure because they don't have an identity. Your identity is not money. Your identity is not your job. It is actually, where you put in your time, your energy, your focus, your money, what stirs up your soul? What are you passionate about? Who do you connect to? They always say, you are the people that you surround yourself with. You are where you choose to put your time and your energy. You are what you eat. You're the energy. That's all that you are. You're made up of all these energies. And this person isn't really made up of anything except for money. And so when a person that doesn't feel like if they only are filled up with money, they don't feel like they have a purpose, right? Because a purpose really isn't money, but this person has made it to be, that's all that's really important. So they tend to have a lot of money. And so it's not like they can't get a relationship. It's just the relationships never wind up being good. People just wind up using them over time for what they have, and they don't understand this, which is why this person puts up a wall. And again, where they get their real emotional support is they act like a martyr. Like I said, they give up too much of their power to like rescue people. That makes them feel better about themselves. So people that have trauma that don't feel like they're enough tend to, first of all, tend to have inherited that from growing up in a childhood where there wasn't enough. There was a lack of money. There was a lack of, and it could be again, even emotional support, but usually it's a lack of money, which is why this person is hyper focused on money. However, they tend to get their emotional support from being like the helper, the fixer, giving too much of their power away, and a lot of times giving a lot of their money away as a way to lure people in, only when that person winds up getting in. If a person gets into their life and cuts through that wall that they have up is what I'm trying to get at. So this person was actually trying to prevent you from getting through that wall because they actually have a whole other persona. And the persona is they go from very, this tough, mean, like cocky, arrogant person that again tries to shut you down and pushes you into submission to actually being that person that tends to get pushed into submission when they're in a relationship. So we see two totally different personalities here, a lot of fragmentation going on. So again, they were just someone that you felt like they wanted a connection, but it was never authentic. They were always trying to get over on you, always deceiving, right? Always trying to, like I said, always trying to get what they wanted without having that emotional connection. And so I feel like this person talked to a few people, but those people weren't really genuine connections, but it was a way to not give you that much attention. Because, like I said, when the person cares, what happens? When a person cares, they wind up thinking a lot about a person. They want to talk to that person. So, this person literally knows who they are. So, they actually distract themselves. Not to mention, they get their ego fed from talking to a lot of different people. So, I feel like the relationship, after a while, you just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't a deep connection. That's what it felt like. You felt like this person, like I said, would want to play coy, like, well, I'm not doing anything. So it's not like you didn't try and explain to this person. You got to your boiling point because you're like, it's the lack of will that you have to actually be in a relationship with me. It's like I can feel it. Like you don't really want to be in a relationship with me because you're keeping everything on the surface. You're not going deep. Every time I talk to you, you talk about insignificant things like cleaning your garage or just stupid things like cutting your lawn or what you cooked, not things about yourself, just things that I would never know anything about you. So again, after a while, you were like, it's a lack of. It's like, which remember, the person it feels obscure. And they don't understand why they feel obscure. They feel obscure because there's a lack of trying, and there's a lack of trying because they feel inadequate. They feel like there's something wrong with them because when they get into a relationship, they actually get overstimulated because there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of emotions. They feel your emotions, they feel your thoughts, and it's so overstimulating that this person normally then becomes like a totally different person, almost where they get pushed into submission of becoming and doing everything that their partner wants, and then the partner disrespects them and really only wants them for that one thing, which is money, which is what their main focus is about. So this person has learned how to shut their emotions off. And here it is that I feel like you're someone that's really emotional. Like, so, and this is what draws this person to you because how do you have good relationships? How do you have authentic relationships? Well, it's because you're an emotional person. People feel that you are genuine. They might not agree on your views. They might not, like everything that you do, but they know that you're genuine. They know that you're like, don't, if you would have come across mean because you were so straightforward, you didn't really mean that. It was just you were passionate about what you were saying. You're someone that's expressive. You're someone, which again, this person got triggered by all this emotion that they could feel, because you're real. You're somebody that is completely different from them. This person is a highly sensitive person, but an introvert, someone that just keeps to themselves, someone that's very logical, analytical, someone that's very book smart, someone that's very structured, like their day every day looks like Groundhog's Day, where you are the complete opposite. You're a highly sensitive person that's emotional, intuitive, creative, sensitive, and again, animated. So again, this is like wow to this person. And then they had judgments about it. And now they're seeing that you're interactive with all these different people. And they're like, wow, everybody loves you. Everyone likes you. I liked you too. So they're in a place of feeling like not enough now to actually come towards you, because remember, everything that this person had was about money. That was their identity. That's who they made themselves as. So they hid behind material things. So now it's like that they would actually want to be in a relationship with you because they've lost a lot. They don't have a lot. It's almost like, well, now you wouldn't like me because I don't have anything. Might probably won't like this version of me, which the irony is you'd like this version of them better because they'd be authentic. And it doesn't mean that they can't build again the same way. I'm struggling with codependency. I'm afraid to let go of my old coping mechanisms. And that's because this person hides behind material things. And not just material things. I feel like this person struggles with drinking too much, like suppressing their emotions, because it's not that they're not a highly sensitive person. They are. Highly sensitive persons, whether you're introverted or extroverted, still internalize. They still are thinking and have a lot of emotion. The only difference is this person drinks to be like, I don't care about the emotion. I don't care about what that person feels. Where you'd say, well, I'm internalizing and oh, well, I hurt that person. Oh, this person thought that I meant this. Let me go and fix it. There's an empathy. There's a sensitivity. This person almost comes across as narcissistic, where I don't really feel like they're narcissistic by trait. It's like they're making themselves into a narcissist by overcompensating in the way that they navigate conversations. Like you said, if every time you're made to feel stupid around this person, like, oh, you're being so dramatic, you're so over the top, or they try and shut you down or make you feel inadequate, make you feel like it's you. Well, it's going to make you feel small. But that's the thing. You didn't stay feeling small. But the real truth is that this person has a lot of passion for you. It's again, and I feel like that is what overstimulates them. It's like, I find you so attractive. I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies like together. So it's again, they're very sexually attracted to you, which obviously a person that is suppressing their emotions, we're going to see a lot of different types of addictions, right? Because our emotions are the way that our spirit communicates to us and tells us like what we desire, what can stir up our soul. This person's afraid to live, and what you are is your life. So there is this sense of like, I want to suck you in. But it's like, but I'm too afraid to show you that. I'm too afraid to let my walls down. I'm too afraid to let go of my coping mechanisms on how I've learned to suppress my emotions and not let people in. Because every time I let them in, they hurt me. This person's inner child needs healing. That's what this is saying. And for those of you guys that actually have children, right? And it's again, this is the alternate. But for those of you that have children, I feel like you feel like I need to deal with my child first before I get into another relationship, because every single relationship winds up being toxic. So I feel like the child has gone through a lot. So they're like, it's not just me anymore. And I feel like that could be for some of you guys too. I have children too, and I've gotten into bad relationships with people that were a narcissist, and I don't want to put my child through that. And you're triggering me. Meaning, if I was to be in a relationship with you, you'd have to learn to let me in, let us in. I can't bring my child into a relationship, another relationship like that. I feel like that's for some of you, but this is really for the person that's connected to you, that's really needs to heal their inner child. But they see the synchronicities everywhere. Look, 11, 11, 11, 11. So it's like they, even though they're suppressing their emotions, which is one way that the spirit communicates to us, right? It doesn't mean that we're supposed to act on our emotions, but we are supposed to take them into consideration and not just ignore them. And why I say we're not supposed to just act on them is that, like this person here, they're suppressing their emotions, but in order for them to emotionally get fed, their emotions tell them to go drink. That gives them that dopamine hit, right? Where the universe is trying to talk to this person because this person was taught to not be emotional. They're actually afraid to be that way because they got victimized as a child. I feel like what this person does to you is what was done to them every time that you're emotional, every time that you're expressing yourself, every time that you're really passionate about something. I feel like that this person goes into that mode that they were raised in. I feel our energy merging together as if it has a life of its own. So it's again, I feel like this person knows that it's like, I can't help like, but to have feelings for you. And I feel like it baffles them because they're like, I can run around and talk to a lot of other people. I can drown myself in work. I can drown myself in alcohol, but I always return back to you. And as the time goes by, instead of it getting weaker, it's getting stronger. And this person is actually like trying to hold back from you because they've created this persona. Now, if they come towards you as somebody completely different, this is their fear because you met them as someone that they perceive was very strong and confident and had a lot, and now they don't have a lot. Now they would be actually coming in a little bit submissive, where they have to apologize. They have to be humble. They have to humble themselves. So this is the issue. It's like they're trying to hold back, but they feel like no matter what I do, the energy is still there. And that's because you can't control love. This person actually perceives that they love you, even though they might have not spent any time with you. They have stalked you. They have watched you. They know enough to know that they're crazy about you. And that terrifies this person, terrifies the shit out of them. And because they can't control it. They're like, the energy just merges back together. I can go out and date a lot of people. I can screw a lot of people. I can drown myself in work, drown myself in alcohol, hang out with family, stay completely busy, but it always merges back to you. I always wind up thinking about you. And it kind of makes them a little bit angry because they feel as if, you have some sort of control over me. And so again, then that's their wounds. That's their fear. When a person gets like angry because a person gets close to them, it's because they're losing, they're like, I'm gonna lose control. I'm gonna like, and I don't like that because then this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen and this is so what we see is when this person has to actually think about an intimate relationship, they get so overstimulated that it pushes them into getting angry because they're spiritually blocked. They're not blocked in money. They're not blocked in creating, but they're very blocked in relationships. And that's because they're not coming from their true self, their authentic self. They're coming from a place of feeling obscure, feeling very small, feeling like they don't have enough, not good enough, unworthy. All these core beliefs come from obscurity, mainly feeling inadequate because they get overstimulated and then they get into relationships where they feel like they give, and they actually open up their heart only for the person to not like them, to use them, and to like take their money and to feel abused. So it's like there's a fear there. There's a lot of overstimulation when a person gets angry like that. Fear, fear of change. There again, that what we see here is again, anger is created from fear. And so what it is like I'm afraid to change. I'm afraid to let go of my old coping mechanisms because who am I then? I'm nobody. That's this person because I created a persona, and my persona is I'm successful, I'm confident, I'm someone of a good citizen. I help people out, even though this person is a martyr and they hide behind material things and they hide behind money and they hide behind work. That's what you may see. That's what everybody else may see. This person doesn't see that. They've made a narrative in their mind of who they want to be seen as. And they walk that walk as best as they can by emulating it. It's not from their true self. It's again, they're emulating it. So it's like, who am I then? I'm nobody. I'm nobody if I change. If I let you in and you hurt me, you then I really will have nothing because I'm already coming from a place of not having enough now. Yeah, like it's almost like this person has to heal certain contracts, contracts that they've made. So well, as souls, we all are born into families and we all have contracts from those families. And this person grew up in a family of obscurity. There wasn't enough money. They felt like they weren't good enough. They were raised by someone that told them, suppress your emotions. You are not man enough. You are not woman enough. You should not express yourself like that. It's all about the money. So this person began to walk from that life and they saw success. And so that success did bring them emotional happiness. They have not seen success within their relationships. And it's because, again, they're still walking around with the karmic contracts that they inherited from their parents. So they might have grown up in a very codependent environment, which usually happens when there isn't enough, right? There's not enough money. Well, guess what? The relationships usually aren't good either because both parties did not really create themselves enough. One person might have created themselves enough in business, another person might have created themselves enough spiritually and emotionally. And so that spiritual and emotional person comes in and they're the giver, they're the doer, they're the ones that, are the structure of the home, even though the other person is going out and working and making money and making the household work. They're not emotionally giving. So they had this to watch. Again, that was the model for them to learn, this codependent type of environment. And the one person that was successful in business was like, this is what it is. And I don't want you to feel. Possibly because that parent also was told not to feel. That's usually a passed on thing. And it's a passed on thing for many, many generations. But, back in the day of war, it wasn't good to show your emotions. You shouldn't be on the battlefield crying or expressing your feelings. So again, these inherited ancestral behaviorisms or ways that contracts are outdated is what spirit is saying, is that this person is still has this contract and they need to learn how to do things better. And what we see here is that it's not by not being emotional at all, but it's to find their balance. It's like they're not balanced at all because they're only living their life from a business perspective, not from an emotional connection. So business, we take out the emotion. It's just fact. What I see is what I believe, but just the facts, where when there's an emotional connection, that we have to actually let our guard down. We have to be transparent. This person has a very hard time with that because, again, the contracts from their ancestors, which is why there's a fear of change. It's something that has not just, it's all that they know. It's all that they know. It's not just what they learned in this lifetime, is what I'm getting at. It's something that they've come into this lifetime with. Because when we're born into a family that we get contracts with, it means that there's leftover karma from past life. This person hasn't learned. They've always been in a poverty state consciousness, always coming from a place of fear, always coming from a place of victimization, always coming from that place because of feeling of not enough, not good enough. And so you're like, oh my God, it's just so much. Yeah, and they have a lot of judgment about it. So anything that you say to them, they see it as a judgment. Like when meanwhile you could say, oh, I didn't really like that movie. I like this movie. It's like, well, you don't like my opinions? They're overly sensitive. Again, they're not emotionally intelligent. They don't hear what you're saying. They hear what you're saying through the filter of the wound of how they were raised. So unless you're really just like so sweet and so nice and blowing smoke up this person's rear end, they don't really, you know what I mean? They don't think that you like them. They don't think that they're enough. It's almost like they need their ego built. And that's like where if you're in a relationship with them, then you feel like, well, now I have to overcompensate in order to make you feel comfortable. I have to degrade myself. I have to lower my standard, which is why I feel like you're like, no, you walked away. And then this person is not used to having to actually put the energy in. When it comes to relationships, they're lazy. And they're lazy because of that overstimulation and that fear. It's almost like, oh my God, it's too much. So this person, again, usually leads with money and, they are able to get what they want. And then as soon as have gotten what they want, they're like, move on to the next. They don't build a relationship. They just lure people in with their money. Now they don't have any money to lure you in with, but they actually really do have an emotional connection to you. So this is like uncharted territory for this person. They're like freaked out about it. They're like, how can like I was I was successful. Now it's again, who's going to like me? Again, that's the karmic contract. Karmic contract is not that you're your money. This person puts too much emphasis on money. So as long as they stay in this energy, I don't feel that this person is going to come towards you. It's not that they don't have feelings for you. The problem is that they have feelings for you, but they really need to heal their inner child. They really need to do the spiritual work. Otherwise, even if you're going to be in a connection with this person, you wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't give enough because they don't know who they are. They're not their money. They're not, you would have to be the person that says, this is what we're doing today. And understand that you'd have to be able to deal with the person saying, well, I don't know whether or not I really want to do that. They're insecure. You could get them eventually to do it, but you'd have to be like their cheerleader. And it's like, it wouldn't be an easy relationship. You'd be like, why does it feel like I'm pulling teeth for you to actually create intimate moments with me? Like if we go to the movies, if I want to walk through the park, if I want to have a deep conversation, if I want to, because they're so shut down. And so all we saw through this is that they have a contract, and until they actually do the work, they're never going to be gone of that contract. So that was what binds them to feeling obscure. And then they make it a self-fulfilling prophecy by, again, how they dealt with relationships. But now they lost their job, they lost their money, they lost it, whether it was a legal matter, whether it was business. Yes, this person will be able to build their money back up because they're smart and they will channel their energy into that's their coping mechanism, right? They hide behind material things. However, until they heal that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, they'll never be able to have a good relationship, unfortunately. So they'll keep winding up in a karmic loop and wind up in a karmic contract, winding up eventually with someone that they don't really want to be with, but be with because they got them pregnant, be with because they get manipulated. The person like is able to emotionally manipulate them, but never be happy. And that's what they believe. And that's what the problem is. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You know, especially if we see that they're like they have feelings, but they're too afraid to come towards you, which is essentially like, well, then what good is it? Belittled card, first card out. Now, these are the inner child cards that a lot of times when we have inner child wounds, those wounds continue to play out within our lives as the same type of karmic cycle. It's like just with different people. It's like this is the same thing. It's just with different faces and different scenarios. But the karmic theme is always the same, and it's where you again felt belittled. But where did it come from? Most likely childhood. Part two, security and safety. Not feeling secure and safe because you were belittled. And that took away your joy and your happiness. But I feel like you were always a highly sensitive person. And as long as you were left alone, your natural state was to be happy, creative, intuitive. So again, you just learned how to deal with life in that imagination realm because it didn't feel good to be around people that made you feel bad about yourself, where they belittled you, made you feel, again, that you're not enough, not good enough, actually obscure, right? When a person is belittled, they're made to feel as if they're not worthy, that they're small, they're insignificant. So again, instead, you were seen as a little bit of a rebel, meaning it didn't matter if you were belittled. You still were going to do what you wanted to do. You still were going to be in that creative realm. Now, the child you can see is crying here. They don't really want to be belittled. They don't really want to have to be rebellious. But when a child is made to feel inadequate, not good enough, and they're not getting that emotional security. I mean, that's how a child feels safe, is that they get the emotional security. And they're not. It's again, you rebelled. You built up like a hard armor too, where you happen to be someone that can be very strong, but you're very sensitive. You can be hard if you need to, but you're actually very sensitive. And this is what this person connected to, and this is what attracts this person to you. But it's also because it's like this person tried to belittle you, and what you did was you did something that no one ever does. You were not pushed into submission to giving this person what they wanted to do. No, you were rebellious. You did what you did in childhood, which is, I'm going to go out and find my own joy. And yes, that's my own, this is green screen, but this, you see the word is dance. And dance means I'm going to go with the flow of my life. I know my own rhythm. It's someone that's very intuitive, knows how to read signs and symbols and feel the rhythm of the universe, where again, they're guided. And it's again because you come from the heart, you're coming from your intuition, you're coming from the spiritual realm, which is actually seen as very rebellious when it's really not rebellious. It's just you're not going to do everything the same way that everybody else does. You're not going to think the same way that everyone else does. You're not going because it's through your own unique individuality. Like you're not someone to go along with the crowd. You're not someone to be pushed into submission. So actually, what attracted this person to you is the fact that you were rebellious, that you again are someone that knows how to go with the flow of life, that just because this person like created that narrative for you, you were like, you walked away. And what you showed them is, well, I'm in my joy, I'm in my happiness. And you learned how to do that in childhood. Where at one time in your childhood, I also feel like you were pushed into submission and you did try to, be loved by overgiving and overdoing the same way that this person did. Just you did that in childhood and you didn't get a good response. The more you gave, the more that they took. It was unappreciated. So you became rebellious and said, well, now I'm going to do what, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just do what makes me feel good about myself. No time and attention. So again, that's the emotional support that I felt like you needed. You were kind of ignored, kind of made to feel insignificant, made to feel, again, obscure by being belittled. So this is why you attracted someone to your life. Now, you might say, but I learned that spiritual lesson in childhood. Yes, Spirit would say, however, you learned it after giving, over giving. So you had to go through the spiritual lesson again. And a lot of times we have to go through the same spiritual lesson a few times, even if we've learned the lesson, because Spirit says, well, you still kind of still holding on to feeling like that you're a little bit inadequate, that you're still feeling like there's still something that you're missing, even though you learn the spiritual lesson, and it's because you didn't fully embody the spiritual lesson. And that happens by going through a very similar experience that, again, plays out the same type of karmic theme and handling it differently. So you can see yourself differently. And I feel like this was all about you healing yourself and being like, I don't really need to be in a relationship. I don't need anyone to give me that emotional support. Yes, at one time I needed someone to give it because I was so deprived of it. But I learned a long time ago that I'm the person that can fill up my own cup. And so now you're so attractive to this person. And that's why they're like, our energy it keeps merging back together because you did not, you showed this person something totally different. And you showed them something about themselves, where again, it brought out their wound. Can they heal it? They can, but they have to work through that karmic contract. They're afraid. But until they will release those old coping mechanisms and really do the shadow work, will they be able to be in a relationship with you? And if they don't do it, it's going to like eat away at them because it's like they can't control this energy. They know that they can't. So I don't see them doing anything now, like I said. However, over time, let's see, over time, will this person do anything? Over time, you're in your old patterns, but can't see it. No, no. Their old patterns are, again, that I'm the victim. I don't have enough. It's like it's just easier to hide behind my money. So it's almost like I get the energy of like Ebenezer Scrooge, where this person's going to be an old person that hides behind their money and just dies like a rich man. And by the time that they actually give, which they never give, they never learn the spiritual lesson. And I think Ebenezer Scrooge learns the lesson in death because it's like all those, ghosts come to Ebenezer. But the next morning, the person that Ebenezer is dead. So it's like almost like this person will never learn. They'll learn maybe on their deathbed that they should have did things differently, but it'll be too late. So Spirit leaves us off with one more message, and that's success. That Spirit says it's like this is about you again and finding your own success now. It's like if you would have wound up with this person, you would have been miserable. You would have been submissive to everything that they wanted, and when they were done with you, they would have exposed of you because this is how they navigate. They don't let people in. So what Spirit is saying, this is all about your success. Again, and so you might be someone that attracted this person too because financially you want to build up your money. So this is, I grow and thrive in the universe. I discover the purity of my heart and the higher wisdom that guides me towards victory. I direct my thoughts towards clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within me. I am free now and I succeed in my life. So I feel like because you were made to feel inadequate in childhood, belittled, like no time, no attention, no nurturance. Um, you didn't feel safe or secure, which means that there was a root chakra imbalance. And we know that all elements of the root chakra represent the physical world. So when we're talking about success, we're talking about money, we're talking about like you living your dream, we're talking about you stepping into your true, authentic self, and that you weren't sidetracked by this person. Now it's about integrating the rest of your spiritual wounds that you will not do with another person, you will do by yourself so that you again can thrive, so that you can grow because you are enough. And a lot of times when we have that energy of belittled, we attract people that will belittle us until we fully integrate the energy. And part of integrating that energy is saying, no, I'm going to be by myself to create because you're not healthy. And if I let somebody in my life that makes me feel not good enough, belittled, pushes me into submission, well, that's going to surely take me off my track and I will not be successful. So Spirit says this was all about you having to go through that karmic test. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.